Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. It's about 3:53 on what's today? Is Tuesday, and this is when I'm dropping my podcast, guys. So this is Tuesday's podcast. I'm kind of digging like doing these in the moment. So I'm going to do this for a little while where I actually kind of come to a specific conclusion or learning lesson at some point in the day. Maybe that's later in the day. Maybe that's early in the morning. But it's definitely been kind of cool, like actually kind of dropping them live. So as soon as I get done recording this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and upload it into the podcast hosting software, and it'll go live like literally probably around 4:15. We will have a podcast for this Tuesday. That being said, the last I had spoke with you, I was starting on editing my book this week, and I actually got a huge jump on all of the book edits that needed to be done prior to my November 1st deadline. I got a huge jump on everything yesterday and was able to go through, and I think I'm on chapter number 4. One of the coolest things that I didn't realize it was going to be this way, literally the way the way Catherine sends me the book over, she's able to highlight with like multiple different colors. And within them highlights, I'm able to actually scroll over that with my mouse, and I am able to read whatever notes that she wants me to read. So maybe there was a couple sections she wants to move to different areas, specifically to the introductory part of the book. She wants one of what I thought was chapter 1 to go in more of like an introductory area of the book. And she was able to note that, and then I was able to approve that note. Now going through, there would be like little highlighted sentences within paragraphs where she would want me to expand on something, or she would want me to explain in detail exactly what I was talking about. So what I found is that it's just going through and making sure these areas that nobody gets lost while they're reading the book. And it's kind of cool because she goes through and reads everything. And I'm sure as she's reading, she's getting hit with something and she's going, okay, well, I'm not 100% what this is here. So she'll highlight it and make a note. And because I wrote the book, I'm able to go through there and actually do the appropriate edit, making it look, making it sound or whatever, making it right. So it's kind of cool process. And I actually got up early this morning, although I couldn't spend the whole day doing edits like I did yesterday. I woke up this morning and was able to start off my day with about an hour worth of edits while I was having coffee at my breakfast table. But that is not what I'm here to talk to you guys about. Although it's so interesting when you read something that you've written. Like I wrote this at the beginning of the year. And I've learned things since then. So interesting enough, like I'm adding shit to this, right? But what I want to talk about today is that, you need to do you need to stick to doing what you need to do today. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people get lost in details. So a lot of people get lost in details that you do not even need to know right now. And I'm going to give you an example. So I'm working with a business coach, Thomas, who is part of Apex Executive. And Thomas had already written a book. It's called Unfuck Your Business. And on one of the very first calls that I had with Thomas, we were talking about the book. And he goes, man, he goes, dude, it took me a little while to get this book launch right, but I finally got it right. I paid this lady. I got the framework on how to do it. And I'm going to give you that framework. So I said, cool, man. Great. He wanted to know when my book was going to be launched. And, I told him it was probably going to be in January, or if things move smoothly, it may be in December. And that's all that we needed to discuss at that point. Like, I didn't need to know his formula. I didn't need to know exactly what that was. I didn't want to know exactly what that was at this current moment, because that's not where I'm at right now and today. I don't get over anxious trying to learn things that I'm going to need to know in the future. And it's important that you got to understand this, right? Because so many people get lost, and so many people get this idea that they can't move forward unless they know every detail of everything. But the bottom line is, all you need to know is what you need to do today to move forward. You see, I didn't understand in the past that when Catherine sent me back this book, that these edits were going to be the way that they are. Like, I didn't have to ask her that, because I knew when she sent them back to me and we discussed it, at that point, I would be able to do the shit that I needed to do that day. I don't need to know everything that's going to come at me in the future in massive amounts of detail. I don't want to know that. I want to take my mind and I want to apply it to what needs to be done today. I don't need to be researching the future. I need to, what you actually need to do is just have faith that the answer to these questions will be there when you need them. That's it. You don't need to clutter your mind with all types of information about everything to move forward. What you need to do to move forward is just understand what needs to be done today. And so many business opportunities and so much shit is lost in the idea that you need to know everything about everything before you get started. I'll give you guys an example, and I've talked about this in some of my other podcasts. When I launched our first event, the Mega Media event, I didn't know what the fuck it was going to be. Like, we had a rough idea. We had a rough idea, very, very rough idea of what it was going to be, but we decided to go ahead and sell it anyway, because we knew there'd be no point in creating it if nobody was going to buy it. So we had to get that shit sold first. And then once it was sold, the pressure was on us to perform and create it. So many people would have got lost in the weeds. They would have said, oh, well, we need to know everything. We need to know what speakers we were going to have. We need to know, we need to know what people are going to eat for lunch. Man, oh God, I've never ran an event before. Like, I'm going to need to go talk to somebody. Like, who could we have? All this shit that people think that is necessary to make something happen is a bunch of useless garbage in the moment. It all has its time. Like, everything has its time. But so many great ideas, so much ambition is lost because people get lost in the weeds. That people get lost in their own mind, thinking that they need to know every aspect of everything before they get involved in it. You don't. All you need to know, and so you want to go out and start a business, all you need to know is exactly how you, the attorney, you need to go get the LLC done, right? That's all you need to do. You want to get an LLC done, you want to get a C Corp, S Corp, whatever that is. You need an accountant. You just put that shit in a list, and you can only do so much in one day. So you get that done, and then you go to the next thing, and then you go to the next thing, and then you go to the next thing. You don't need to know. I'll give you another example if you want to talk about a business. So there was a business that I launched a while back. I'm not involved in it anymore. Oh my God, the camera. I just turned completely red on the camera. So there was a business. I'm not involved in it anymore, but I launched it I don't really want to go into details of what it is, but I'll just tell you that the business partner that I had at the time on that business model, he was worried on who we were going to get to do the work on this specific business, right? And we were just starting it, and one of the first questions was, he's like, "Oh man, who are we going to get to do this for us?" And you know what my response was to him? I told him, "When we get there, the person will appear." There was a bunch of shit we had to do. There was a bunch of state shit like paperwork. We had a consultant hired, and she was putting in, all of these requests with the state of Ohio, and they were doing this back and forth thing, and we had to get it approved, and we had to have the right facility. We had to make sure we had the right occupancy license. There were certain types of bonds and shit like that that had to be done. So there was a list of stuff. I hired a lady who knew exactly how to do it. And she had a list of shit that we had to do. But when I was talking to my business partner, he wanted to know who we was going to hire to do the work. I'm like, whoa, man. This thing ain't even this. We haven't even got this thing through the state yet. Why in the fuck would I be thinking about who's going to do the work right now? That person will appear, and they did appear when the time came. And it was the time when we needed to start looking for the right people to do the work. The right people appeared, and they were there. That's all I need to know to move forward, guys. That's all I need to know is the available people here with highly forward guys. Will be there when I get there. And a lot of times that just takes faith. Some of my coaching clients, I use this thing where I'll pull a hypothetical gun on them because I get people that have false beliefs around certain ideas. And let me think about one gentleman's false belief was so he owned a chain of car washes, and his false belief was that he couldn't find a specific type of system that would handle like reoccurring payments with their credit card system. And I'm like, well, dude, that sounds kind of easy. Oh no, he came to me and said, no, man. I have went everywhere. I've searched everywhere. They're like all these, I've looked for this. Exactly what I want can't be found. I was like, no, man, there's got to be, software companies. I mean, back in the day, I had a car wash, and, and there was all these different elements and things like that. I mean, it was pretty easy to find out. No. He was 100% for sure that this situation, it just couldn't be figured out. And the truth of the matter is, he really wasn't applying himself to the situation. So I asked him, I said, okay. I said, let me ask you a question. If somebody took out a gun and put a pistol to your head and told you that you had 24 hours to figure this out, you're sitting in front of a computer, somebody pulled a gun out. Like, I want you guys to think about this. Somebody really pulled a gun out and really was going to fucking shoot you in the head if you couldn't figure this out in 24 hours. Like somebody fucking standing beside you with a gun, pulled it out, stuck it to your head, and said, they're going to pull the fucking trigger. They're going to blow your head off unless you figure out something, somebody who can do this one thing, whatever it is, whatever your hang up is, wherever you're stuck at in life. Could you do it? Of course you could do it. You would do anything. But the problem was, number one, he had a false belief. How many times people got false beliefs just because they tried something or they tried to accomplish something a couple times and it didn't work out. So they just believe, it just doesn't work for them. He just didn't want it bad enough. Once you want something bad enough, you can get it. But you've got to decide that you're going to get it. So when something comes up, I know that we're going to figure it out. Look, as an entrepreneur, you become professionals at figuring out problem solving, at figuring shit out, at putting together pieces of puzzles that other people just can't fucking solve. That's what we do. And as a marketing savage, you're not going to give up. You're going to make it happen. You're going to get that shit done. So stop allowing yourself to fall into this state of confusion that you need to know everything that there is to know about a specific thing to move towards it. Just take it one step at a time and know and have the faith that when that time comes, the situation will suddenly correct itself and you'll be back on track. And the knowledge that you needed or the people that you needed will be at hand. You've got to believe that.